Namaste. Arvind ji. Welcome to this program, education program by Hindu Temple of Bloomington. This program is being recorded also, Prasad ji. It is live currently. We are live currently. Welcome. We will start our program with a short prayer and then we will get started. You want to come? Arvind ji?
तच्छयोरावृणीमहे घातुयज्ञाय घातुयज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ
Topic of today's discourse by Brahmachari Pratyagatma Chaitanya ji is values for meaningful living from Bhagavad Gita. That is the topic. A very brief introduction of Brahmachari ji. Brahmachari Pratyagatma Chaitanya studied Vedanta under Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati and completed Pujya Swamiji's Vedanta course in October 2013 in Bharat. Brahmachari ji then studied with and served Brahmalin Swami Pratyak Bodhananda ji until 2020. From Arsha Vidya Gurukulam, USA, Brahmachari ji has conducted several outreach programs for families, Gita study groups, satsangs, youth sessions in college and temple talks. Currently, Brahmachari ji is giving classes online on Srimad Bhagavatam for the adults. He has conducted pujas and rituals. He was previously also a researcher with an engineering master's in US. Brahmachari ji, namaste. Suswagatam to our temple. We have not been able to match your enthusiasm of coming all the way in terms of the numbers in front of you, but I'm sure many people are watching now. This is a YouTube live and they will watch it offline also, and they will get benefited by your wisdom and knowledge on the topic of today. So, Suswagatam once again.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Om Namo Gurubhyaha, Shri Medha Dakshinamurte Swamine Namaha. Om Shivam Shivakaram Shantam Shivatmanam Shivottamam Shivamarga Pranetaram Pranatosmi Sada Shivam Apadam Apahartaram Dataram Sarva Sampadam Lokabhiramam Sriramam bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham. Buddhir balam yashodhairyam nirbhayatvam arogata ajadyam vakpatutvam cha hanumat smaranat bhavit. Asadhya sadhakat swamin asadhyam tava kim vada Sri Ramaduta kripa sindhu matkaryam sadhaya prabho. What is that sloka? Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripa tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. So glad I'm here at the Bloomington Temple also in my outreach program. It's always glad to see our familiar faces. Arvind, Srinath. Of course, Prashad Shastri is my host for this event and for my trip in the Peoria area. Sudhir, of course. And I'm glad to see, what's your name? Balwant Singh. Namaste to you. Aukanand. Huh? Braj Mohan. What nice name. ब्रज से मोहित भी हो सकता है. Rahul, I've seen you before, right? Last time. Well, we'll also know that young listener's name in the back. What's your name, beta? Jay. Good to have you there. Come in the front, sit here. Yeah. And Srinivas, of course, is controlling the sound from there. Hari Om to all of you. So we are having a topic which is Bhagavad Gita values for meaningful living, right? So Srinivas garu edo background lo oka avaz vastundi kada, something edo inka extra voice is coming out. He is in the classroom, that's why. Now only this background noise was coming for other people listening. You're saying, I'm talking about myself. I'm getting disturbed when saying. I don't know. You're so focused there, but this background noise is coming along with my life. But now the volume is gone. Yeah, parvaledandi bhavana. Ippudu correct ga undi. Abhiya. Parvaleddu. Nannayitu. Now is okay? Yeah. So, living versus getting along. All Puja Swamiji's way of putting things, right? Living versus getting along. So, are we living or are we getting along? Because we have to define meaningful living, and then we can see how these values in Bhagavad Gita will be useful for us. So meaningful living is not just breathing, right? A person who is in coma also might be breathing. Is he living? Yes. But is he leading a life? No. Good. Jai is responding nicely. Then, what is living? Meaningful living especially. So when you're living, you have to be very active. Right? Activity means what? Transacting. Transacting is not just online transaction. Transacting is also relating. Right? When you're relating also, transacting, relating, it is all for accomplishing something. Dealing, transacting, relating, all that. So when you relate, naturally it becomes a role. Do you agree? Suppose I'm relating to my mother. What is that role called? I'm relating as a son. Suppose you're relating to your brother. What is that role? Brother. But what brother? Elder brother or younger brother? There you go. Suppose you're relating to your sister. Then, who is older, who is younger? Huh? Both. But there will be small difference, right? What is that? No way, come on. So, those are the challenges. You brought out some challenges basically. We want to relate, but there are challenges, as Aravind was just mentioning. We were also four brothers. So challenges are there while relating. So, how you navigate those challenges, not just to get along, but to really relate, really do well in that given role. That is meaningful living. Do you agree with me? So what are the setbacks? Why won't it be so easy that we should define all this meaningful living and all that? There are so many setbacks possible, right? For example, when you're relating, when you're playing different roles, you always feel that you should have done something and you couldn't do. Omissions. You also feel that you wished you didn't do something also. You wished you didn't tick your sister on the wrong side that she is so upset with you. Commissions, some commissions which you wish you didn't do, and some omissions which you wished you could have done. So when you play all these roles, then what happens to those omissions and commissions? They keep accumulating, right? You always want to compensate for those. It's all part of life. And omissions and commissions, they are causing your own omissions and commissions. This is all Puja Swamiji's way of see how nicely he's taking. I'm not even skipping one single step. I'm not even jumping. I'm not giving you some thoughts here and there and asking you to connect. So, omissions and commissions of your own omissions and commissions are going to cause you a lot of guilt. Vitta kora, totta kora, panirlame. In Tamil, kora means there was the kami. Usme jo kami hai, it'll create a lot of guilt in yourself. Many guilts, yes, accumulate. How about you are so perfect and somebody else is the problem? So how about you're so perfect in your role playing? That is what you think, by the way. That is your perspective. You have to ask the other person. So how about you think that you're so perfect, and if someone else's role playing is so clumsy that that's what you perceive, then their omissions and commissions will create hurt in you. Your own omissions and commissions create guilt, and someone else's omissions, significant ones, not somebody who who you don't care about and they don't care about you. So their omissions and commissions are going to cause hurt. Now with all these things, where is the time to practice any values? We defined meaningful living. But where is the place for values in all this meaningful living? There's no meaning for the values. In the sense, that is what Puja Swami says, values can remain in the books, but it is a value for you only when it is relevant for you. Values have to be analyzed, inquired. It's not about just rattling out values from Bhagavad Gita. Ama nitvam adam bitvam ahimsa. Ama nitvam adam bitvam ahimsa. Kshantihi arjavam. Acharyopasanam shaucham. Stairyam atma vinigraha. Indriya atteshu vairagyam. Anahankaram evacha. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanudarshanam. Asaktirana vishwangaha putradhara grihadishu. 13th chapter from sloka number 7 onwards. Good, I have to give a context. I'm glad you're asking. Then Asakti Ranabhiswangaha Tiripiyade Varde Pargo. Because of you, I'm saying that this value again, which is laughing at me, smiling at me. That's why I'm saying. That is the point. Putra Dara Grihadishu. Where will you have value for all these things? They're not. We are talking about relating, and it is saying Anabhishwangaha Putra Dara Grihadishu na. How will this be a value? Then, what is the next line? What is the next line? Putra Dara Grihadishu. Then, what is that? Ishtanishta Ushnishtopapatishu Nityam cha Samachittatvam Ishtanishtopapatishu. Then Maicha Ananya Yogena Bhaktiyavya Vicharini Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aratirjana Samsadihi Adhyatma Yoga Nityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam Yetad Jnanamiti Proktam Ajnanam Yadatonyata. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is not calling them values, he is calling them Jnanam, knowledge. Jnanam, knowledge means what? That which can lead to knowledge is called also called Jnanam. Anena Jnana Sampadhanartham Anena. With what you are getting knowledge is also Jnanam. You had to have these qualities for that knowledge in the 13th chapter where Bhagavan says Kshetrabhyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. May you know me as saying that. But let's not go into, I'm just giving you the list of values there. I may not even cover a few values because we have to make it more relevant to you. So, for a meaningful life, these values are going to only add meaning to your life, provided you appreciate those values if you have a real value. For the example, the value for money. Suppose if you had given one candy, one hand with a candy, one hand with a $100 bill, what will you choose? Huh? Jay saying $100 bills. Now how old are you, Jay? 8. Suppose you were only 2-year-old. At that time, there you go. Clear. All good sishyas for your Balagokulam. Right? So what happens? Over time the value, what you didn't have any value, what you thought it was so irrelevant for you, the value about that grows over time to the point that now at the age of 8, only in 6 years, yes, his value from 0 to has gone to 100%. Less than 6 years. Even 2 years before also he would have given the same answer. Which means what? Every value has to grow on you. But the values have to be explained for it to grow on you. Suppose if we say amanitvam, mani. Mani means Gambi. One who is given to manyata of oneself. Not arrogance, not ego also. Exaggerated self-importance. For him, when he walks in the sabha, he wants everybody to turn from Bhagavan towards him and start doing puja. That is mani. Atma pujanam. Always. Respect for oneself more than anybody else. He wants his degrees to be everybody to watch, look at him, and they more than his first name, you want everybody to focus on his accolades, which is following his last name. So that is a mani. Now when we say mani, and if I say you should be an amani, opposite of mani, I can say that and go to the next value. But how to make this value more valuable for you? Right? So Puja Swamiji, does it a different way. He's got a book called Value of Values. In that he has taken an approach. He's taken an approach because other person, if you are demanding self-respect, you deserving self-respect is one thing, but demanding respect. Self-esteem is one thing. Self-pride is something else. At the best, the other person, the way he would recognize your degree and your accomplishment is, at the best, the other person only feel jealous of you. That is okay. He can feel jealous of you, envious of you. More than that, you don't expect anybody else to. That is recognition, by the way, for you. But if you demand that, my level of comfort, my level of accomplishment is all, only as real as how much somebody else is going to appreciate me, it is like taking money from your pocket and putting it in the other person's pocket. And saying, I wish he spends on me. That's not going to happen. But then regarding this value, even just one value like, manitvam, amanitvam. Is it a useful value, by the way? First of all, let us see. Define your role. Because what we said, in different roles, there can be omissions and commissions. And that can lead to guilt from your side, hurt if it is from somebody else's side, right? So role playing gets affected like this. Now take the role of a student. We are all students. Now I can see here 2 or 3 generations of people learning basically of this Bhagavad Gita. That means our Bharatiya samskara. Bha means for light. Prabha, Shobha. So the light of knowledge we are all seeking. So what I'm trying to say is, here you're all sitting. Now when you're sitting here, are you a mani or amani? You're a amani. Right away you're practicing amanitvam. You're practicing the desire to learn. There is the advantage of, so you have to see what is, you select a role. Role is role of a learner, role of a student, role of someone who wants to be a sadhaka. Now here you are, as a sadhana, you are listening to satsanga. You are a satsangi. In that role, for example, if you are a mani, what would happen? You would not even be here. I'm not dismissing everybody else's mani, by the way. You would not even be here, knowing that this is happening, this satsang is happening, and in so many different ways. But one way a mani wouldn't be here is by thinking, I already know this. मैं बहुत सत्संग जा चुका हूँ जी, मेरा problem यही है. Whenever I listen to satsanga, I feel like I've already. It's the same thing they're saying again and again. This is one approach. I know some people who come to Arshadya Gurukulam, even they sometimes say this. But the same people, there are other group of people who come for 20, 30 years and they say, I keep coming because each time when I come, I get something new, different. Now don't you think already I have given that experience to you right in the beginning? Although you have given only 45 minutes to me, I don't know when is the beginning, when is the ending. I'm just kidding. Look at the real indicator. So, what I'm trying to say is, the learning happens only when you're an amani. Openness. In English, you can call it modesty, you can call it humility, vinayata and all that. But, the trendy word is, being very open. So, I had given one speech only yesterday for Hindu Students' Council in the morning. The topic was Hindu Dharma, infrastructure for life. And then they gave the title to Chat GPT to make it hippie. So they came up with the answer. Hindu Dharma, hack for a happy living. Or Hindu Dharma, OJ, OG for winning frame or something like that. So OG, original gig, like that. So that is why Amanitvam is being very open. That is a trendy word, being very open. Open for knowledge, open for whatever you in that role calls for. Open for whatever the script that role can throw on you, where you have to raise up to that occasion. How many hats you have to wear. Open. Amanitvam. This Amanitvam, Puja Swamiji says, it will be very, very natural. Provided, we are an informed devotee. Devotee, I didn't say just a devotee, informed devotee. Informed devotee is what? Information about what you are devoted. Information about what you are devoted is information about Paramatma. Knowledge about Paramatma. Right? In Bhagavatam also, when Bhakti Mata, who is a Yuvati, she was lacking the strength of her two sons. One is Jnanam, another is Vairagyam. So Jnanam, object of devotion, knowledge about the object of devotion is a very basic requirement. So when as a devotee of Parameshwara, Ishvara, Bhagavan, Narayana, when that knowledge, that Jnanam is complete, automatically your devotion is also so natural. The quality of devotion is also so high. So Bhagavan Swamiji says, when you, as a devotee, as an informed devotee of Paramatma, you can bring in how all that is here is Bhagavan. He says that. Then we have to expand the statement. All that is here is a manifestation of Bhagavan. Not just creation. Creation word, if you say, the scientists will run away. Okay? They want to say evolution. If you say creation, the scientists will run away from you. But we are saying manifestation of Paramatma. So manifestation of Paramatma means what? How is Paramatma, Bhagavan manifest here? For example, a spider. If you see, have you seen a spider web? Where? See? In the garden somewhere, right? The spider web is a manifestation of spider. Do you agree, beta? It's a manifestation of the spider. But is the spider web also does it look like a spider? So how is it a manifestation of spider? Beta? It is created by the spider. That is the answer. I'm going to expand that answer. Can I? So when you say it is created by the spider, you're saying that web is out of the raw material for the web is the spider. Right? The material for the web, the spider has given itself, a part of itself as the material for the web. Is that enough? No. The spider also has become the nimitta karana, not just upadana karana, nimitta karana, the intelligence of coming up with a web like that. Right? Does the spider keep on doing a web for the whole time until the whole house is full of web? It's a waste of effort, right? It only stops at a certain distance. It knows this distance, this web is so nicely spun, that itself is such a intelligence in the web, and only stops at a certain distance, right? It knows where to stop also. So much of intelligence. So the spider web is a manifestation of spider in the form of spider being the upadana karana, the material, and nimitta karana, the maker. Right? Likewise, in this creation, look at the web, www. World Wide Web. What is a World Wide Web? In the whole world, there is gravity. I'm just giving an example. Right? Just like gravity is there. Graha. Grahastha is also from the word. The gravity's word is also from graha, to grab. Grahastha also is from graha is also from the word grih only. It all has an. That is why Pujya Swami says, don't say the grahas as planets. Wrong translation. Grahas are those which have a power of attraction towards the earth. Every object might have, but what is all having significant capacity to pull? That is those are the grahas. So Pujya Swamiji simply uses the word luminaries because they all have their own light also. Jupiter shines. Even Saturn you can see the same. So luminaries. Because graha, if you say 4 of them are out of the list. What are the 4? Surya, Chandra, Rahu, Ketu. You have got only 5 remaining there. So what I'm trying to say is that gravity, for example, it is a manifestation of Paramatma. You and I didn't create that. Hey, why do you go so far? Look at your own body. Look at how the mind is all, the neurons are firing, hopefully. Mine is firing, by the way. I don't know, before I want to say what next you could say. Neurons are firing in the mind, brain cells are firing. You have a smaller brother also? He is also very smart, like you. Right? He is 1 year old. Has he surprised you anytime with his thinking? Like, do you remember? Uh-huh. So his brain is also working. Even at such a young age, the body-mind coordination. Bhagavan has given such a beautiful body-mind system for us, right? Now, did we create this? Did we create our bodies? It was given to us. We have it, right? So it is a manifestation of Paramatma also in the form of this anatomy and physiology and whatnot. Physiology also. Inside the body there is so much functions happening. The blood is flowing against gravity all the way to the head. It knows where the blood is required more and does that. Right? So physiological activities. The body is such a warm, nice warm system. Temperature is maintained. Physiological order. So when you see all this intelligence, like the spider web's intelligence, the size and shape and whatnot, it is from the spider. So when you see intelligence in the body also, and then let us take another example also. Biological order. Human beings give birth to human beings. Right? If you plant an apple tree in Midwest, it gives apple plant, apple seed, it gives rise to apple tree. Suppose if it gives rise to a pumpkin tree, you'll be surprised. You'll think there's a ghost under the tree or something. You'll run away from that tree, right? So there's a biological order also. Even psychological order is also there. Your emotions. Pujya Swamiji says, if somebody is anger good or bad? Getting angry, is it good or bad? Even you know that. Jay also knows that. Because he has a value for not getting. So you have a value for not getting anger, right? That is why he's saying bad. He has a value for managing anger. He has a value for dealing with that. That is why we are concluding it is bad. But in reality, is anger common? Sudhir is saying as, I forgot your name. Is it common, I was asking. You said yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's a common problem, right? So it's something which is a common problem. If you think you don't want anger, and if you have this tremendous capacity to win over anger, you have made it, and somebody else is getting anger, right? Help them. That's a nice answer you've got. See, in my session, always there will be, Bhagavan will always send, like our Srinath and Jay and all this smart ones, they will send also, along with all of us, devotees of Paramatma. So help them, right? See, how would you help them? Let's listen. How would you help them better? It's not easy. I'm not questioning you, quizzing you. I'm just using what you are answering to, kind of build my topic, okay? So, you can help them. You definitely can help them. But you cannot help them if you think you have won over the anger and what is the problem with you. Right? That is not the way to help them, but that comes out. If you have not understood the anger problem. The emotions like anger also, first thing is, you have to understand it is common. Kids, they see other kids in the class sometimes, they get frustrated. Common problem. Sometimes they get jealous also. That is also a common problem. But if you don't understand, if you don't accept that as a common problem, because the causes are common. Alasya, Nidra, Pramada, some of the causes. Alasya is, laziness. That makes you compromise on some values. And that makes you become emotionally, a pack of nerves sometimes. Or make somebody else emotionally pack of nerves. Nidra. You compromise on a lot of values, including taking a shower. If Nidra is extending it to a certain level. And then Alasya Nidra, Pramada. Pramada is glossing over things. You think you have conveyed whatever you want to convey to the other person. You think you have communicated, but it has not gone through. Communication gap is not when you don't communicate. It's when you keep communicating, but still there's a gap. Because the other person always thinks has to deal with you. What I'm saying? Then it just keeps going on the top. Doesn't enter. So what I'm trying to say is that also can create upset, frustration, whatnot. Right? So, pramada. If you don't, these causes are common. Anyone can be tired. Anyone can be exhausted. So if these causes are common, if you don't accept those emotions when it even happens to you, then what happens is these causes, or you're going to not accept these causes. If you don't accept these causes, even if you think you have won over the anger problem and all that, even these causes are causing somebody else upset, it's not going to work for you to accept them. You're going to again get angry. You'll be angry that you are getting angry even after you thought you have won over the anger. So the problem is going to remain. So managing anger, dealing with anger means accepting all these causes which can cause anger. So once you accept these causes, then you can work on those causes for sure. But then when is anger a problem, for example? It is a problem when it is victimizing somebody else. Right? So what I'm trying to say is, going back to Ishvara, Paramatma, these connections where you see between, what are the connections you saw? Between a cause and an effect, even at the level of emotions. Then that means, there's a connection, there's an order. There's an order, cause-effect order. That means there is some intelligence of Paramatma working there also. Just like a cause-effect order between this seed giving rise to this plant and your physiological order and all that. So in psychology also, there is an order like that. So that means Paramatma is intelligence and manifestation is there at every level. So you're appreciating Paramatma just like you're appreciating spider's intelligence in the form of the spider's web and whatnot. You're appreciating Paramatma in form of all this order. Paramatma is here and now in the form of gravity, in the form of this beautiful intelligence creation called space. A weightless space. Does a space have any weight? Doesn't have any weight. And look at all the weight it's carrying. Huge planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Earth and whatnot. Uranus. Is it possible for a weightless thing to carry so much weight? What a miracle. Right? Beautiful creation. So if you appreciate Bhagavan like in that way here and now, then where is the question of manitvam? So that value called amanitvam is more valuable to you now once you have become an informed devotee of Paramatma. Adambitvam, also cakewalk. Dambi is somebody who has got a void inside and he tries to fill up that void by making up things. You go to school and they talk about the latest and greatest movie, Avatar 3. Has it already come? 2 has come, right? Suppose if one person is making up, he's saying, have you seen Avatar 3? If Jai was, he knows he is bluffing. He is bluffing, right? He's trying to draw some importance by doing some bluff. That is adambitvam. Dambitvam. Some people, we do it with the ages. What is your age? If we ask for a person who is 40, he'll... That's right. I have you got the next speaker in Bloomington actually, in the next few years. Okay? So, what I'm trying to say is, this, but he needs some training. I'll keep coming until then. So, okay, this adambitvam, age, people, I'm just giving an example. We know we can connect all that. Let's keep going to the next value. Value of value is more important rather than finishing the values. Ahimsa, physical ahimsa, skip it. But mental ahimsa, don't worry about it. As long as it's not deliberate. Mentally harming somebody, don't worry about it as long as it is not deliberate. Right? If it is just helplessly happening, it is helplessly happened. What is the point in worrying about it after it has happened? Keep that aside. Verbal ahimsa. Verbally. Satyam vada, priyam vada, hitam vada, mitam vada, anukulam vada. Like that we can increase the value for that also. Satyam vada, priyam vada, mitam vada. Don't keep saying this. When you keep saying something true again and again, it loses its value. Hitam vada. If it is beneficial, speak about that. Anukulam vada. You empower the other person. If you think you are speaking the truth, other person is not able to follow you, you empower and see that, if you can go halfway to make him come your communication skills. I can talk 45 minutes just about that, but I have only some more time. Very useful skill also, communication. So, then, Satyam vada, one sage was there. See, in life also, communication is a great art. How would you communicate, suppose if somebody else is causing you hurt? Everywhere the question I get is, I'm okay. How about if somebody else is the cause for the hurt? How to do that? Man, you've been attending too many satsangs, I think. We have to ready. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're making my day here in Bloomington. Everybody is making my day, you are making it even more for me. So, what I'm trying to say is, you can always communicate better. Listen, you can always communicate, especially with the kids, all very important. You can always communicate how you feel when somebody else's words or deeds are causing hurt to you. Instead of saying, hey, you're not supposed to do this. What is your problem? Don't you have even this much brain? Where were you when Bhagavan was distributing brains? Okay? Not asking like this. Hey, that is when I was getting married to you. That person will say. Okay? So, that is not the way solution. They'll always have tit for tat. Okay? That doesn't work. So, what you do is, how you communicate is, you say how you feel. When you're so honest, I cannot take this anymore. Please. I feel very hurt I feel very scared. I feel very anxious when you come late. right? When you communicate how you feel rather than how you want the other person to behave and all that, that is the starting point of good communication. Like they say in America, I wish if I were you. These are all some of the tools. So communication is when how you suppose in spite of that, then you can always empower the other person. Empower the other person because there's some care and trust. We're talking about role playing. So there's some basic care, some basic trust is there. So that means what? The other person is not able to appreciate, he's not able to come up to that level. Empower the other person. That is also communication. Listening is a communication. This is all part of ahimsa, vak tapas. Maunam is not just keeping quiet. Munehe bhavam maunam. Munis are not only just keeping quiet all the time. They speak what is required, how is required and all that. So what I'm trying to say is adambitum ahimsa. And finally one more thing about communication. Compromise. These are all something I thought I'll have your whole HSS here. And I thought these are all their values for them only. For all of us, of course. Compromise. Come halfway. You are thinking that yourself 100% Indian. No, you're not. I'll tell you now, after every year, 10% of Indianness is becoming 10% American. So at the best, you are now 40% Indian. How do you expect your near and significant ones to be even better than the Indians in India when it comes to Indian values and Indian culture and all that? So, compromise. Right? So, these are all some of the important things. Then comes ahimsa, kshantihi, accommodation. What is the most difficult thing in life is accommodating a stranger or accommodating your significant ones? Accommodation. Is it so hard to accommodate a stranger, Srinath? There is a stranger walking and he's walking a little clumsy and then, he's walking slow and he's gating this way, that way. He's not giving you way and all that. Does it bother you? You'll just go past him like that, right, on the other side. Suppose if it is your own sister who is doing like that. Suppose if it's your own spouse who can be a little better. That is our problem. We have an image of what a perfect spouse should be. We have an image of what a perfect child should be. The child has an image of what a perfect parent should be. So that is where the accommodation clash between the image of what is perfect versus what is actual. Right? Accommodation. So I can talk about this value. Very important value. You are able to so accommodate. Now this whole Midwest, I don't see a single mountain. All very flat. And there's so much wind also because of this problem. You have been very accommodating. You have been very accommodative. Huh? You don't complain. It's your choice, man. You've chosen to be here. Better get adapted to it. So you're accommodative. With nature, we are very accommodative. The sky is not that blue as it used to be in the summer. Accommodative. So you have the capacity to be accommodative with nature, non-demanding with the nature. So the capacity is there. Puji Swami is proving that capacity is there. But I'll stop with Acharya Upasana. I don't know what is the time line I have. So, okay. And then you're doing bhajans. Okay. You have enough people for bhajan? Your group is here? Okay. Okay, good. The lead will tell me then in this case. So, accommodative, being very accommodative. So what I'm trying to say is, accommodation, very important skill. That's why I'm trying to, halt in each value and give you all these important things. Anybody else, if you call, they'll rattle out all the values by now and then they're done. Then here Puja Swami's message is very valuable for you. So what I'm trying to say is, these mountains we are so accommodative. Blue sky is not there, but still we are okay with that because we know that is a way, that is a season. There's always a time and rhyme and time for everything like that. If the night comes, then it's going to be day. None of us are a bunch of what everyone likes. We're all a mix of what somebody else likes and also somebody else dislikes. So that means what? They are anyway putting up with us. So that means what? You also have the capability. So this, what is one thing you can practice in being able to be accommodative? So I've told you the capacity is there. If I ask you, the honeybees, what do they do? What do the honeybees do? Let us ask them. Let the older people also answer, right? Let me see if they are also paying attention, man. What do you say, Jay? Now he's watching all of you. What does the honeybees do? Balwanji is so kind. He's nice, right away answer. Very nice. He's giving a very technical answer. And your pollen collection, very important. Yeah, honeybee gives honey, according to Sudhir. A honeybee also stings. Nobody said that. Why? We are accommodative. They also sting. We see, look at that. I'm not saying positive thinking, by the way. That is a wrong thought also. I'm thinking practical thinking, realistic thinking. We care for honey and then we can see that we know how to get around the sting and get our honey. Right? So what I'm trying to say is, accommodation is there in you. Capacity to accommodate. Only thing, when it comes to your significant ones, we have a perfect image of them. Am I asking you to give up the image? No. That also I'm not saying. Hey, you should be curious. What am I going to say to solve this problem? To solve this problem, the problem is not you have an image of the other person, perfect image and all that. There are reasons for that and they can also lead to some problems. But then if you have an image of the other person, you can communicate again. And you can resolve that one. But what is the real problem is, based on that gap between realistically what and versus ideally what you want, ideal sibling, ideal brother, ideal sister, ideal spouse and all that, based on that gap, you react mechanically. Reaction happens. If you can deliberately act, now that you have a value for accommodation, if you can deliberately act, then you are practicing accommodation. How to deliberately act? Suppose if I ask you all to clap. Hey, only he did. How is the problem? Okay, I'll also do. Come one more time. Let us see. Some people clapped. Some people were tightly sitting, no clapping. And then they clapped. He was very loud. I was also loud because I was close to the mic. And you decided to do it your own way. So now I'm going to ask you one more thing. Get angry for a few seconds. See, for this everybody is laughing. You're doing the opposite. When I ask you to do something, you are decided to do it your own way. But when I ask you to do something like anger, you're doing the opposite. Beta? Yes. Anger just happens when situations are, not going your way, and you don't even know that it's not going your way. Even before you realize it's not going your way, the anger comes before that. Reaction. Reaction, you cannot have no control. So deliberate action means you can do some control over that. So that way you can practice accommodation. Ahimsa, kshantihi, arjavam. Is it kshantihi? Accommodation. Arjavam is, being very saralta. Whatever you think is what you speak and what. So saralta also they say like this and they go. But arjavam is very natural when you're accommodative. Your problem is because you're not accommodative, you're beating around the bush to get your things done. There's so much of dealing happening. You're thinking something and you're communicating in a different way, hoping that what you think will be, fulfilled. That is dealing basically. Right? So dealing is happening. Arjam is not dealing. It is relating, straightforward, saralata. But only one thing I want to say, because it's coming to an end of my time. How would you practice all these values? Now, I made the value more valuable for you now here when I was speaking like that. And I learned all these values not only from books. Acharyopasanam. When you have people who are practicing those values, then not only you would know the value, learn the value, but you'll also know the different shades of the value. You won't be an idealist with respect to the value. And each time hit your head that you're not able to practice the value. No, you know what are the limitations of the value, where you can practice in which way and all that. Like that. One Mahatma was there, Swami Akhandanji Maharaj. He had a guest. And in the guest, he said the guest was very, wanting Maharaj to come to his house and stay and all that. Like that. And then he wanted to wash his hands or something. Then his Sishya, Akhandanji's Sishya said, take him to my bathroom. Show him my bathroom, take him to my bathroom. He has to wash his hands and all that. This Sishya took him, Acharyopasanam. How can I take my, to my Maharaja's bathroom, a guest who I even don't know much and all that. Like that. This is all more than holier than anything else. So he took him somewhere else, to the common bathroom. Okay. And Maharaj was asking, क्यों इतना देर हो गया आपने बाथरूम इस्तेमाल करने के लिए कहा मैंने नहीं महाराज आपका बाथरूम how can I ask him to use your bathroom? So you told that out of your own greatness. But I took him deciding for himself what is value, practicing more than what is required. Then Mahatma said, "Arey Ullu, Ullu means a fool. I wanted him to use my bathroom, so he knows the standards." So because he's calling me to his house, he wants me to stay and all that. Let him see. So when you're with an acharya, you know the practicality of all these values also. Acharyopasanam, Shaucham, Stairyam, Atma, Vinigraha, all that. So we have Alparamam, Kshemakaram. So values we have started. We can even have this series whenever I come, continue with other values like this and finish all the values, because Tattva, Jnana, Artha, Darshanam and all are great values that will change your whole vision, the way Puja Swami is presenting all those values. So I'm giving you all these pep messages about my future topics. So Arvind can remember, Sudhir can remember, and all those people like Srinivas and everybody and all, Baldev, all of us, we can meet again next time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Yeah. There's one mic there also. Huh.
There is no value for it. Namaste, Dhanyavad everybody. We want to get started with the bhajan, so we'll call this close. Swamiji, Brahmachari ji, Dhanyavad for taking time. I would say we will do better next time in number of people that would be present. But it's very nice that you took time to come to Bloomington. We request you to keep Bloomington in your itinerary in future also. Dhanyavad. Since you already did the Shanti Mantra, we will not do it again. I think the biggest beneficiary or the patra is Jay. Jay is the biggest. If you can give it to him. मैं भी लेता हूँ. So, ठीक है. Jay, take.